always picture perfect, and we are 3 moms, today 4, just trying to figure it out together. Let's get real. Welcome to the Think Loud crew. My name is R.
My name is Shannon.
My name is Remy.
I'm Cheyenne. Sorry.
So today, Remy is joining us again.
Yay!
Hey.
Welcome.
We're not blessed with her beautiful baby today, and we're not talking about parenting either, y'all.
I'm going to try so hard not to talk about my child.
Should that be a rule this episode?
okay.
No. You're like,
I think
we love our
you
kids.
can always talk
You
about
can always
your
talk about
kids.
okay.
So what are we talking about today, ladies?
We were talking about friendships.
Ooh.
Your eyes got big.
I love friendships. But before we get into friendships,
Yes.
you guys have the sweetest fan base, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, they're so nice.
What were they saying? I'm so
Right.
messy.
What made you say that?
They always just have like really sweet, encouraging things to say about y'all. And when I came on the podcast, I felt so much love.
Oh, yay. Look at you guys doing a
You
good
guys
job.
They
are
really love
very
you, Remy.
sweet, and I really do appreciate, the support. Because this is what y'all do for a living. But
Yeah.
like, I'm on here as a guest. Like, y'all typically have people who do this for a living on with y'all. So I appreciate
It's really like you and our dad.
He technically does this for a living now. So.
Literally just like y'all. No, I'm done.
So yeah, it's been nice to be well received by your amazing crew.
Aw,
Thank
that makes me
you.
so happy because sometimes we can have a little rotten egg in that little bunch.
I mean, there's always going to be a rotten egg.
I'm
but the
just
good
saying.
outweighs the bad.
Yes.
Not
Okay,
the rotten
so I wanted to
egg.
bring Remy back. I asked her very kindly and gently. No, just kidding.
Did you ask her gently?
I just sent a text. What happened was, okay, Remy, Zaina, and myself, we planned to do this girls' night, and we've been planning for a girls' night for way too long. It's actually really sad.
Like since March. At
Yeah,
least.
like for months
Yeah,
we've been
since
planning
Zaina's
this
birthday,
night.
we've been
Yeah,
trying to plan
with
it.
no
Aw.
kids, no guys, just us. And it went through different cycles of what it was going to be. But at the end, it ended up being at my house on the couch with pizza and wine, and it was perfect.
Perfect.
My neighbor ended up walking down once we got like our threesome done. Not
threesome?
literal because we just talked about threesomes the other week.
Y'all, Shannon
Just
has threesomes with her friends.
a
Don't let her
three-
lie
the
to you.
three of us.
hanging out.
With some wine and pizza. Okay, I'm done.
That was our sum, y'all.
So my neighbor came down, Iris, and we just organically got into such a good conversation about how to make friends as adults. And Remy led our conversation through like question and answer, and I thought it was really good. So I asked her to come and do the same thing with us today.
So do I get to interview you guys?
You get to lead the combo.
I'm down for an interview.
Yeah.
She is. I love
And
this.
she also talked about this on her YouTube channel, so make sure you guys check out her perspective between her and her husband Brandon on Remy and Brandon Bobo.
Yes.
Is that what?
Yeah.
I did it right?
You did it right. You did it
right.
right. If you didn't, it sound right. So we just
She's like, either way, that's our names. So
You did great.
you can find us.
Right. Wow, this is such a fun topic for me. And the reason why it came up while we were having our girls' night was because I was studying it for a Bible study that I was leading, where we were
Okay.
talking about community and the importance of it. And it's just been like plummeted in my spirit, just like this whole topic of making new friends and how daunting it is to make new friends as adults. Because
Yeah.
typically we end up making friends because we're in school together or we work together or our kids go to school together or we go to the same church, like whatever the case is, it's typically proximity based where you just like end up being friends because you see that person all the time, but there's no real effort that has to go into it because you're
Right.
naturally just placed in the same setting. But when you get out of those settings and you're like, okay, how do I make friends in this season of my life if I'm not going somewhere consistently? And that's where I am. So that's why like the conversation kind of felt so timely because I lost my job. So I don't have like the comfort of my coworkers anymore.
Right.
And I'm now in this season of a newborn. Well, I guess he's like no longer a newborn, but a small baby. So I can't do all the things anymore. So for me, I was like going through a period of, I want to make more friends. Like I adore the friends that I have, but I do want to, explore making new friends. as an adult, and like, what does that look like? So I'm really not the one to talk to strangers. Like, I'm kind of reserved when it comes
Y'all,
to
that is a lie.
I'm really thinking.
I've had
to
pre-baby.
make myself do that now.
I have seen Remy. Maybe these weren't friend situations, but this girl knows how to not only talk to a stranger, but also get strangers' babies in her arms.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
If
no,
I have
she'll
a
talk to
mission-
anybody's baby.
If I have a mission and it is a baby, I'm gonna succeed.
Yes, you will.
You
succeed.
can talk to
Somewhere,
people.
and I turned around and Remy has this whole baby, and I'm like, where are the parents? And then another little kid came by her, and I'm like, oh hell no, we don't kidnap the baby.
We took
kidnapped
riders.
yes.
It was a
And we were
holiday
dressed
thing.
in like penguin outfits.
Yeah.
It was.
It was to the point where this family ended up coming over to the house
We
because
ended up
Remy
being
was like,
friends.
Yeah, when
Hilarious.
I said, hi, can I hold
I,
your child?
I
She's
need
beautiful.
to see my baby again.
Yeah. And I used to be a lot more outgoing pre-pandemic, but I
Yes.
think like going through the pandemic of just being with like your closest people, it makes it a little bit intimidating to go out and meet new people, especially when
Yeah.
it's not like you just see that person all the time. Like then it's easier to talk to. So I guess I pose my first question to you ladies, and that is, as adults, what are you looking for with new friendships? Not the existing ones, but to make new friendships. What does that person need to embody?
That's a deep.
I would say one word for me would be. Okay, maybe this is like 4 words. So,
I was about to say, damn, she got one word.
the first thing that came into my head was loyalty.
Okay.
First thing that came in my head was consistency. So I feel like
Okay, we're on the
Yeah.
same vibe.
Yeah.
Shannon, what's the first word that came to you?
she's like
A heartbeat.
First of all, Shannon, do you want new adult friends
No,
in your
I
life?
do,
I'm
but
like,
I think what the first thing that came to mind is same like mindset as
Okay.
me. Like I need someone who has the same type of mindset.
Mhm.
Okay.
Nice. Okay. So with that being said, have you gone out to find new friends, or is it easier to just stick in your circle and just like be comfortable there?
I don't know where to find friends as a woman. And it's like, I don't want to necessarily go to a bar at times or like I did try going to like a work networking thing.
Oh, I hate networking.
And I was like,
They make
I
me
was
cringe.
like, why am I here?
I like stand in the
Like,
back
Yeah,
of a room. at
I
those
literally
things.
will stand at a table by myself and just look.
Yeah,
And
it
observe.
was pretty awkward. I did try putting myself out there where I had a female friend or female person invite me somewhere. I did not go because it seemed a little sketch.
Mhm.
And then I found out, girl, you did what? So I was like, ooh, like maybe I don't want female friends right now. Like it's
So would
where
you like
go?
male friends?
No, I want a female friend. I want I'm like, and that was the thing. Like, I think I even talked to you about it at one point, Shy. Like, I had a whole moment where I cried one day because I was like, I just want a friend where I could just be like, hey, girl, let's go do something. Like,
Yeah.
Hi.
I
I'm
know,
just
but
kidding.
you were gone. You were gone, and that was the thing. I was like, Shannon can't be my one person
Yeah,
here.
no, this was literally like a sobbing moment for her, and I think
This
I
is
was.
when Nana fell
I think
asleep.
I was going. I had plans that night with my friends.
She did, and Cheyenne was like,
And
damn,
Kyle
girl.
was like going through it, and I'm like, this is awkward.
But it wasn't like,
Sad.
I don't think I was ever, Cheyenne's always, I felt, had good, like, healthy, like, friendships. And I've always admired it. And I've always learned from, like, your friendships. And I've always been grateful because I feel like you've shared your friends with me.
Mhm.
I have friends. They just don't live here. Shannon, I have friends who are here. Let me backtrack.
Damn, bitch.
Okay. When Shannon is not in town, and
drink our
working,
water.
that's what happens.
Work out their friendship.
Right. I think they need a little bit more help than we thought. No.
No, Shannon was gone in this time. Y'all, I'm gonna fuck you all up. No, just kidding.
Okay, let's just put it out there right now. Shannon is Kyle's friend.
Yeah, Shannon's my
End
friend.
of the story, period.
Yeah.
Shannon is one of my best
All
friends.
right.
Okay, we get it.
Remy is my friend. Okay, we get
Just
it.
kidding. But
But
I'm
our
just saying,
conversation did not go like this.
when Shannon is not available
Oh my
or not
God.
here, I'm like,
No,
where
I'm
do
just
I
messing
go?
with you,
Like,
Kyle.
who is
I'm
my
messing
crew?
with you.
Like outside of my
No, yeah.
immediate.
Yeah.
So like I
Yeah.
tried putting myself out there, and then I realized like a lot of these women that are like around or where I do have contact. Like you want that same mentality? I'd be like, okay,
Yeah,
there's some
you're
basic
not on the
things
same
where
level
we're not
as
on the
me.
same page. Like,
Yeah.
oh, we could both be moms, but like,
But that's not enough.
that's not enough
Yeah.
at
And that's
all.
important to realize that, and that's the whole like proximity thing, is just to have one thing in common doesn't mean that you have to be friends. Like
friends,
there's different
yes.
categories. You can say like, oh yeah, we have this in common. This is a hobby that we enjoy together. That's our relationship, but that doesn't have to be a friendship. And so often I think we just like feel guilty to where if we do hang out with someone enough times, we just have to call them friend. But I think we should be a little bit more particular with the word friend and
I
who we
agree.
actually give that beloved title to, because it's so
I like
sacred and
that.
it's very specific, but somehow it's gotten watered down.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not
marriage.
just saying that
it's
it's
gotten
like-
watered down.
That's
like,
an associate versus
Yeah, that's what I'm
friends,
saying.
or like that
Or
is
an-
a work colleague.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I've had to
Or an
learn how to
acquaintance,
be
yeah.
more
specific with
yeah.
what you call people.
I like that you said that because that's true. Like, you feel entitled that you have to give that title to someone because you're around them all the time or
Yeah.
you see them all the time.
But are they really?
But
your
are they
friend?
really
Are they
your
really your
good
friend?
friend?
or is it not just your kids, friends, mom?
Right.
Yeah.
And then
Like,
realizing
because-
when it does switch over.
Yeah.
Like I feel like there was a moment, for at least for me, where Ryder started a new school and I knew that I wanted to take this opportunity to make new friends.
Yeah.
Hopefully. I was hoping that I could, because at her previous school it took me probably till the end of the school year to make friends, because all those moms thought I owned a sex store and sold toys.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it was like a big
Yes.
rumor on the campus that I was like a sex store owner and I
Wow.
sold sex toys.
What the
I mean, I like the rumor, but all the moms wouldn't talk to me because of it. And then one
Yeah.
mom finally said, "You know, they think that you sell
And that's why they don't
toys,
want
and
you
that's
around
why they
their
don't want you around."
kids. Yeah.
But-
wow.
And I was just like, "I don't sell toys. I'm on a Teen Mom show. Like, I don't."
I'm literally
I
on
don't
a
But-
kid-based family show.
But what it was is I had posted a ad for a sex toy. Somebody sent that out to a group chat, and it just blew up on the school
Somebody sent
campus.
it on a group chat?
Yes. So I
Wow.
didn't really have the best experience at that school with making friends.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to make friends at Ryder's new school,
Yeah.
especially because she's going to be there, God willing, from K through 12.
Yeah.
So I went in very, like, conservative in my head. Like, I went in hoping, like, I could bond with some of the other moms. And I ended up really liking some of the moms in Ryder's class. Majority, I don't have an issue with any. I like all of them. So,
Yeah.
But I noticed that there is a difference between Ryder's, like the moms that I meet and we do play dates and it's just for our kids, versus like I have one mom friend from her school that I would genuinely say
A
has
friend.
become my friend.
Yeah.
I have other ones that I hang out with, and I wouldn't necessarily call them up and say like, "Hey, let's go hang out," or "Hey, can I just come sit on your couch?" Because I don't want to sit on my couch. Like,
Right.
and I feel like when I realized that transition, it was around the same time like we were really having this talk, and I'm like, "Oh, we are friends."
Yeah.
And I
You're like a genuine.
like a genuine friend, and I'm happy that at least I got one so far out of such a large group. Like I do think I got a genuine friend
Yeah.
from her new school.
I love that. And one friend is enough, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
it doesn't have to
I
be
was happy with my
multiple.
one.
sometimes I think we get so caught up on numbers and we get so caught up on like who's cool, who can I be friends with?
Yeah.
And it's like none of that is really important. If you find the right community, it's also about finding the right person, like that,
I agree.
a
Someone
person
you
who
feel
has the same
comfortable,
values
yeah.
and who cares about the same things that you care about and who can give you wise counsel. And
Yeah.
like that's one thing that's really important to me in this new season of friendship is like I want our moral compass to be aligned, because the stuff that I will go through in this season, it's likely family related. It's either like questions about raising my child or questions about being a wife and a mom. So I would love to ask those questions or like experience that shift with someone who has my same faith, because they
Or
can give me
understands.
advice through the same foundation. You know, they're not going to give me advice and it's going to send me down a path of destruction, because, you know, the foundation is there.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Whether you're dealing with decisions around career, relationships, or anything else, therapy helps you stay connected to what you really want while navigating life, so you can move forward with confidence and excitement. Trusting yourself to make decisions that align with your values is like anything. The more you practice it, the easier it gets. I can't wait to use BetterHelp because I'm seeking out a therapist at the moment. If you are thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist.
Let therapy be your map with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/thinkloud today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/thinkloud. Visit betterhelp.com/thinkloud today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/thinkloud.
Caraway cookware is non-toxic and chemical-free, so you can fill your summer with your favorite recipes without worry. Caraway makes cookware with the convenience of non-stick without the concerns of toxic forever chemicals, so you get the best of both worlds. I personally love my Caraway, like, stovetop, just regular pot. My kids love making fresh popcorn. It's so easy. I love it because we're sitting there shaking and I'm thinking there's no chemicals in my children's popcorn. I love my Caraway pot. Caraway's internet famous kitchenware is a staple for my house and any home, and comes in various modern shades to fit with any design aesthetic. Non-toxic kitchenware means food can be prepared with peace of mind that no hard to pronounce chemicals will leach into your healthy ingredients. All sets come equipped with complimentary easy access storage solutions to keep the kitchen tidy. Visit carawayhome.com/TLC to get 10% off your next purchase. That's 10% off at carawayhome.com/TLC, or use code TLC at checkout. Caraway, non-toxic cookware made modern.
With that being said, knowing what it is that you're looking for in a friend can also help you figure out where to go to find that friend. And even like if you find like someone who you really like and you realize dang, our values aren't the same, you can still hang out with that person and, you know, do play dates or go shopping or like whatever, go to the movies. But there's just certain things that's reserved for that friend box. Like, hey, I'm having a really bad day. I accidentally like cursed at my husband and like now I feel crappy about it. Like whatever the case is, like reserve the stuff that has potential to fix your life or ruin it for that friend who you have like the common I'd say moral compass with, who you share that moral compass with.
That makes sense. I definitely think like what I look for in a friend right now, I want somebody who, and I feel like this is gonna sound weird when I say it, so help me if it does sound weird. I want somebody that's like doing more than me, like career wise and work wise. Like I love to see my friends level up, so I want to be motivated by the people around me. And I think like in this new phase of like adulthood and friendships, I have really enjoyed making new friends and realizing like, damn, I need to work harder. Like, I want to work so much harder.
Be inspired by
I want to be
friends.
inspired by the people
friend group.
around me. And I realized that I'm inspired by my current friends in different ways. Like, Remy inspires me for my faith. Like, Zaina inspires me to be more creative. I'm like, okay, now I want somebody in my life that inspires me to, like grind.
I feel that.
You get what I mean? Like, is that weird?
No,
I don't think that's weird.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's want is weird. I think like whatever it is that you want in a friendship, that's valid.
Yeah.
So like even if it kind of sounds weird saying it out loud, if it's a genuine need of yours, then it's valid.
Mm-hmm.
That's also a big thing in conversations and like communicating with people. I know that's like a sidebar, but oftentimes I feel like it's hard to communicate with someone because you're trying so hard to understand it. And that's not always necessary. You just have to understand that like what they're talking about is a real feeling for them.
Right.
Not to say that yours is hard to understand.
Yeah, no,
But it gave me a
you're-
flashback from what we were talking about at dinner the other
I
night.
relate to yours, Cheyenne, because like even like when I've been thinking where I'm like, okay, I'm like the single friend right now, and like in the women that I'm seeking, like I don't necessarily want like single
woman.
single women.
Yeah.
Like I don't want them to just be like, oh, I'm single, I'm out here doing this and that.
I'm
like,
out here at the club every day.
yeah, because I'm not
Meet
trying to be
somebody.
out here.
Yeah,
Like, I'm
yeah.
in the streets, but I'm like, hey guys, like I'm on this really cute little block right here.
Right.
Like,
This
Yeah.
is my
Just
street.
come over here.
yeah, like we're away from the street, but like we're still out
We're
here.
still
Like,
outside.
we in
Yeah.
the
In the
city.
street.
We're
Yeah.
in the city, but we're not on the street. Like, let's tend to this garden over here. So it's like, I want women who are in better spaces, better places, or places that I'm trying to arrive and like
Yeah.
Mhm.
join
be,
right
yeah.
now. Like,
Yeah.
I'm pushing through like a level up right now, and I'm like, what are y'all doing? Like,
Right.
or like, how did you get there? Not just how did you get there, like, once you got there, how did you maintain
How
it?
do you
Like,
sustain
how
it?
do you sustain it?
Yeah.
How do you feed into this? Like, how did you, like, those deep nights when you are, like, in the thick of it, like, how did you overcome this? Like, what inspires you? So I think what you said is, like, spot on.
Yeah.
Like, it is so spot on. And once I realized that, I was like, okay, now where do I find these married women at? Like, where do I
Married
find
women,
these,
yeah.
like, career women? Where do I find, like, where are these people?
Understanding your need. Sorry, Shannon.
No, go.
Understanding your need is vital because if you know that those are the kind of friends you want, then once you realize that let's say you're meeting people and they're like, oh, let's go to Greystone this night, this club this night, let's go to Penthouse. I don't even know if it's still open on this night.
I don't know either.
You start to realize that like, okay, this is dragging me away from my purpose.
Yeah.
And that's why vision is so important for both relationships with a spouse and relationships with a friend. Because like if you don't have a vision, you'll just like attach to anyone who you relate to. And naturally we're relatable. So you like relate to everyone almost. So it's like being super specific
That
about
was such a good point that you just brought up
what?
in terms of, like, being so relatable at times. And it's like, you can think you're making a connection, but it's like, no.
You're just
just
relatable.
relating.
You're just
Yeah.
relating.
I've learned
like,
that.
You're just nice. You're just actually having, like, a flowing
Yeah.
conversation. But what is the...
Right.
What's the
What it-
crossover?
Yeah,
Yes, like-
exactly.
Yeah, so I think that is a huge... That has happened to
Yeah.
me where
Just
I'm like,
relating to
oh, like,
everybody.
maybe we can have a friendship. But then it's like,
You're like, no, this is
No,
going
that-
I
that
think
was
that
crazy.
happens to me a lot because I'm in a workspace, being in my workspace all the time, and everybody around me I see all the time. So in my head, I feel like everyone there is like my friend because we're relating all the time.
Yeah.
We're around each other all the time. So in my head, I'm like, oh, these are my good friends. But in reality, it's just
Proximity.
proximity.
Yeah. If you stopped
And
working
it's
there.
interesting because if
What
I
would that
stopped
look
working,
like?
I don't think that
Yeah.
it would maintain. And it's interesting to me because some people have left the workspace, and I'm like, was this truly my friend, or was it
Yeah.
somebody that was just in the proximity that I've been around all the time?
Yeah.
And that's happening right now, and I'm like, am I checking on her like I used to? Am
Right.
Am I making sure that she's still good? Are we still laughing about the things that we used to laugh at? Am I still updating you about Parker?
Yeah.
But
Right.
I think the extent of like those type of friendships is like, now you just see me through Instagram.
Right.
Yeah.
You're just
Exactly.
following
Yeah.
me. That's our
Relationship.
relationship, which is I don't know. That's just really interesting to think about.
I think
all
something
those
that I
things.
struggled with. Sorry.
No, go.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
You can be like, she cut her off. No, okay. Something that I struggled with, or still do struggle with, is I'm very comfortable in my friendships that I've had for years. Like, I am comfortable in the way we talk to each other. I'm comfortable
Yeah.
in the way we debate or we banter. I'm comfortable in the way we hang out. and the way, like I'm very comfortable in those things. And I see within making new friendships, it's like a part of it is putting yourself out there, and then a part of it is seeing what you're going to receive.
Yeah.
And that to me is really uncomfortable.
Oh yeah.
It is, and I think
very
also the
stretching.
effort.
Yes. And what I realized is, okay, I'm going to use an example, and I don't think she'll be mad at me for using it. But my neighbor and I, we hit it off. We met each other, and I really liked her. We vibed. She was a little older than me. She has older kids, but I still, we found different things to relate on, and we became, in my head, we still are becoming friends.
Okay.
We talk,
You're
we check
nurturing the
in. Yeah.
relationship. Yeah.
But I realize that I hold on to how we talk, and I can't give everybody the same expectations. And I'm like, okay, let me step back and check myself and maybe just be more honest about how I feel like your responses are and how they affect me within developing this friendship. And I feel like I did that the other night.
Yeah.
And I explained to her, you're kind of hard to become friends with right now, because when we text, you end our conversations. I will be like, hey, what's up? How are you? And she's like, I'm doing so good. XOXO.
Yeah, I'm doing so good. Have a good day.
So she's already,
Yes.
it's like it ended.
Yeah, she ends it, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then so I explained that to her, and she's like, I do that because I always think you're busy. So I don't want to keep texting you, and then you be like, damn, I got to text her back.
Preconceived notions will kill y'all.
Right.
Assuming, this brings us to a really good point about self-healing first before. I feel like it's just as important with getting into a actual relationship and a firm relationship, because all that trauma comes with you. Like her trauma, the neighbor's trauma is coming into her relationship ability, or into her relationship making ability with Shy, and it's almost like putting Shy off because she is like taking past experiences and making them Shy's problem by being like, oh, you're probably busy. Let me say I'm busy.
Let me tell you I'm busy.
I'm busy. Yeah.
Where I told her, I'm used to our text. I don't think it's ever ended. Like, it just...
I'll take 3 days to respond
just
sometimes.
goes on
She'll
forever.
take 18
Right,
hours.
there's no ended
We're not saying bye.
It goes, we don't ever say, okay, bye. Talk tomorrow. We
Talk
just
to you later.
We just know we're probably going to end up talking tomorrow.
Anyway, so blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Like,
it just never stops. So then I was like, okay, maybe
there's no boundaries.
I'm putting too much
That-
expectation on her to realize that this is how I talk to my friends. Like, we don't have to say bye to each other.
Or XOXO, or like there's
it like
ending
hurt
at
my
it.
feelings. I'm like, I'm saying how are you? You're telling me you're good, and then you say goodbye. You never said how are you? Back?
She's not giving
What's
you the
going on with you?
opportunity to let her down. And I think like it's a what's that word when you like do something out of, it's like a protective
defense.
It's a defensive mechanism.
Yeah, it's a defense
Defending
mechanism. She's probably been like rejected in the past in a friendship.
But I like that you said, like, you have to heal yourself before you go into any relationship.
Yeah.
I think for myself, I remember in one relationship, going into a relationship, he was like, hey, I think you might need to have a little bit of therapy, because I kept, like, you go bounce off of what you've been through.
Of course.
So it is, I think that's really important. I didn't think of, like, going into friendships as
like
well.
that.
But that's true, because for
Yeah.
her to end your conversation, that would be very hurtful.
Yeah.
Like, hey, girl.
But I felt like when
What's
we
up?
were talking, we were in a safe place to where I could tell her how I felt and didn't feel like I was attacking her.
Yeah.
But I did let her know, like, you don't have to end the convo, and you don't have to assume that I am busy, because 9 times out of 10, I'm like fake busy. Like, I like to talk all day.
Yeah. How
And
did
that's-
she feel about that?
Not Cheyenne saying
She responded well.
She responded well.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think that's also a really important component of friendship, is that you should have the freedom to be honest and let someone know, like, hey, this is rubbing me the wrong way, or like this makes me uncomfortable, without the fear of how they're going to handle it, because otherwise you're not really getting to know each other if you can't be honest with someone about how their interactions are affecting you.
Yeah.
And I like that you said something to her, because like there's some people that I might have just brushed that off and been like, oh, this girl's weird, like, or just like, why are you doing that, and left it alone.
Yeah. I think we've
Instead
had so many conversations within ourselves about how awkward and how strange it can be trying to make friends as adults. And I think it's even harder when for me at least, when new people come into my life, because I have such a strong foundation of friendship that is transferred over to family. Like, this is my family. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So coming into that, it's like, wow, how do I fit into this situation where there's not a spot for me? There's no seat open.
I think knowing that within our family structure has made it difficult for me sometimes to make friends, because it's like, you're not just going to be my friend. It's like, how are you going to interact with like my world and the people that are most important to me, because we're all up in each other's stuff. And it's not just me, it's like my sister, and it's not just my sister, it's my sister's friends, because like I'll bring someone around and they're like, who is this person?
Yeah, no, it's real. No, that's real. But I think that if you lay that foundation within your friendship with that new person, that, hey, I am alone and we can do things alone, but I also sometimes come with other people. Yeah. And if they acknowledge that and they welcome your people into their world also, then I feel like that's them making an effort. Yes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, I want to be in that world. I want to...
Or let's combine them.
Let's meet. Like, let's...
I understand that...
You come to my world, I come to your world. Like, let's see... Hey, this is what I have, this is what you got. Like...
Yeah. And once you establish, like, those principal key characteristics that you look for in a friend, it will likely be the same things that you have in your family. Yeah. So, like... And, of course, like, that's... We're talking about like a healthy family unit. So if you say like, okay, I want a friend who's honest, who has a good ambition, someone who like X, Y, and Z, like you're naming all the things, that person's characteristics will naturally be inviting to the other people in your life. So it typically like won't present as a problem to like merge the worlds unless you're going from one extreme to the other. Yeah. Like if you're like, you have Shy who is married and has children and travels a lot and works a lot, but then on the other side, you're looking for friends who party all the time and friends who, you know, rob banks for a living and friends who scam, you know, like if that's where
the merge won't happen.
That's where it won't happen. So that's where it's difficult to merge, like, you know, the old friends versus the new friends, or the friends versus the family, if they're really different. And sometimes the merger is the opposite. Like sometimes you have those friends who in the past were the party girls, the strippers, or like whatever the case is, and now you're looking for other friends, and then it gets complicated when you're in the middle of it, and you're like,
and your old friends are like, girl, you were just on that pole,
and your old friends are like, you were there with me, and
you were there
that's why
with me.
sometimes I know,
and you're like, I know,
and you're like, I know. Sometimes, like,
then.
I heard it said the best, and it was, sometimes loyalty can be a liability.
Yes.
Ooh,
and
that's deep.
That's really good. It was, I think his name was, I don't want to
Don't say his
attribute
name.
it to the anchor, but it was a pastor, and I think his name was Travis Green. I could be wrong, but he said loyalty can be a liability, and sometimes you have to like shed to go higher, like, you know, like release the weight in order to elevate.
Oh,
I just thought that was so profound, because oftentimes we have this day one mentality where we feel like just because you were there with me in the grind and with me when I did this and with me when I did that, that as I grow and you stay stagnant, that you're supposed to remain with access to me. And it doesn't really work like that. Like if Shy was still at Penthouse and doing all the things every single day of the week, and I'm no longer in that space, and our friendship would naturally just like, it won't work anymore. So it's like, no matter how amazing our friendship was when we were younger, if we're not in that same season anymore, it's not going to work. All it's going to be is like a whole bunch of friction trying to like keep something alive that's not there. So I think honesty within yourself is very important to figure out, like, are we still actually compatible as friends? Because sometimes I think we get so caught up on how difficult it is to end a relationship, but also like this whole day one thing, and it's the biggest lie. Like you don't owe anyone your loyalty. And I mean that the standpoint of like, if you end up sacrificing your own morals and your own values just to be loyal,
one.
that's the wrong way to look at it.
Yeah.
Like, of course, the loyalty that Shy was talking about when she looks for a friend is someone who's not going to betray her.
Yeah.
Someone who's not going to, like, take everything that she's saying and then, like, blog about it. Like, that kind of loyalty is necessary, but not the manipulative kind.
Yeah. Which
Of
I feel
loyalty.
like
I was
I
there
feel
when
like
you
I was
did
there.
there.
Yeah.
I was there
Yeah.
through your hard times.
Yeah.
or
And-
if you're trying, like, to go back to what Marie was saying, like, if you're trying to elevate yourself, and maybe last week I was in the club every day, but this week I'm saying that's not what I want to do anymore.
Right.
I want to change my projection of whatever I'm doing. If you're that friend who's like, but you were just there last week, you just did this last
Trying to
week,
always
like,
bring you
always
back
bring you
down.
back, like,
Yeah.
I could
you can't
not.
elevate. You're not going to elevate that
We
way if you
want-
have
I
that
feel like
type
that's
of
so
friendship.
unfair.
We
It
want the
is.
friend that's going to be like, oh, you're trying to get to what spaces and places?
How can I
Let's
help you?
get
How
there.
can
Let's
we
get there
together?
together.
Oh, I know
I'll help you
somebody.
out,
at
yeah.
So rather than let's go to Penthouse, I want to say, I met someone at Penthouse who can get us there. Like, you know,
Let me go see my
let's
contacts.
go
Right.
if you're gonna be out, how are we gonna parlay these relationships versus like let's just be out? Like, it's
Yeah.
how do you carry yourself? Like, what is your purpose? What is your mission?
How are we
Like,
leveling up
what are
each
your
other?
intentions? Like, this is accountability partners. This is like. Sometimes, okay, so going back to the worlds, sometimes I don't want to merge worlds. I
Yeah.
like my world.
Yeah.
And there's been so many times where it's like, we've brought people into our worlds. I want someone to say, hey, I like you enough to bring you into my world.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like,
that's
and
good.
for me, I feel like it's been a while since I've experienced that. And it's,
Yeah.
yeah, like that's the kind of friendship I want where it's like, no, like, come on, like, I see you, I
Yeah.
get you, I hear you, like,
You're an
let's
amazing
go.
person.
Whereas
Right.
I feel like it's always been, come on, let's go.
You're bringing somebody else into your world.
It's always someone coming here, like, and I love my world, I love my family. That's not to say I don't want to be around my family and friends.
Sometimes you want to be
But
invited and not the
sometimes
invitee.
I want to go
Yes.
sit on someone else's couch. Like yesterday, I went to one of my friend's house, and it was so nice to not have to like be the host.
Yeah. And
Like
constantly
there's
do.
so many times where we are
You guys
the
are
host,
constantly hosting.
and
I really like being the host. I can't lie.
oh no, I love being
But
the host.
sometimes
But
you wanna be
sometimes-
hosted.
It feels good to be
Yeah.
hosted,
It
but
was-
even
I
then, I'm
was
like, this is awkward. Like, I don't know what to do with my
You
hands.
No, I didn't know. I was
Your
like, should
hands.
I be like cleaning dishes right now, making
Right.
drinks? Like,
What do
should
I do?
Go play with the kid, the
Yeah.
dog? Like, you guys are doing. What do I do? So I was like, what do people do when they come over? And I'm like, they sit.
They sit, they chill out.
And
that actually,
They drink their drink. So it's like right now.
Didn't
like,
we talk about this?
We
I
did.
felt like I was learning how to be a guest of my friends
Yeah.
in their home, and I was like, yeah, it was awkward at first for me because I was like,
because you're just not doing.
What do I do?
you're just-
Where do I
yeah.
go?
So
And you didn't have your kids, so you're probably like, whoa.
what do I really do? I'm
what
not
do I
running
really
around
do?
chasing a
you wanna
toddler.
know what I
Right.
did?
Yeah.
I sat my ass down, I drank a drink, and I rolled myself a J, and I was like, I'm at my friend's house. We're adults. I'm gonna relax. Like, I'm gonna enjoy. I'm gonna have conversation. So it's like I'm in this phase now where I'm learning actually how to be like an adult friend and guest,
Yeah.
which I think is like,
Yeah.
I feel so silly and childish saying it, but
It's
No,
not. You
but it
you have
isn't.
to
It is
constantly
what it
learn how to
is.
be a friend, and that's one thing we were
Yes.
talking about last week or the week before. We were talking about how oftentimes, or like for me personally, like as I was preparing for the study that I was doing for Bible study, I realized that there is a distinction between being a friend and doing a friend. Like oftentimes we place our value and we value others based on what we can do for them and what they can do for us instead of just like being able to be, and understanding that like the true characteristic of a friend is not tethered to doing. And
Okay.
oftentimes like I tethered my friendships to doing, and I was telling Shy I had to apologize to her for something.
Sorry,
And
I didn't mean to laugh like that, but I just thought about your apology news.
she was like 3 years later, really.
3 years later, Remy, are we doing this now?
I'll give y'all the really quick example, but
that is hilarious because I know
prior
Remy
to-
was so serious.
I was so serious. Like, so prior to my awakening to like what it actually means to be a friend, I can say that I was selfish. I can like honestly admit that I staked staked a word. We're gonna go with it. That I staked a lot of my value towards people and their value to me based on like showing up and doing. And I like cared less about the being because I didn't really comprehend that a friend is supposed to love at all times and sharpen each other and be earnest. And like there's certain things that I'm learning and it's all character based, not like physical ability based. So I say this to say that it was my 30th birthday, and I'm very
PTSD.
extra with like any event, which is probably why I don't host much because I'm way too extra with anything. And it was my 30th birthday. It's a pandemic, so I naturally couldn't do all the things I wanted to do. So I was like freaking out that we could only like do certain things. So I have it all planned out, and Shy is supposed to be bringing the cake, and so she gets there like maybe an hour and a half or 2 hours late, and she had like a few other things with her that was important for the party. And she was 5 months pregnant. She had a really rough day. She also has like stuff going on in her own life. But me being selfish only cared about her being late. Nothing else. Like I don't even think I took the time to say like, why were you late? I was just like instantly upset by it.
You're late.
And I realized that it's because I was selfish, and also I cared more about her doing, which was like I needed the cake because it's my birthday and we can't sing happy birthday without the cake. And I just like wanted her to, there's like, you know, different responsibilities that people had. And I cared more about it all coming together than I did about just actually just spending the time. And that was one thing that wrecked me recently was like, yeah, it's very important to be able to allocate because you can't do it all on your own. And it's very important to trust people with certain tasks. But in the instance that they drop the ball, that shouldn't change your energy towards them. And that's what I was guilty of. My energy towards her changed. Like, yeah, it would have been nice to be on time. You have the cake.
Right.
However, but now that you're late, I shouldn't love you less. And I got presented with like that exact like replica of that example with a recent friend, and I was an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours late to her gender reveal, missed the gender reveal, got there like at the very end, everyone was gone, and she greeted me with so much love and was like, we tried to wait for you, but someone had a flight, and she was like, I'm just so happy you're here. And I was just like, a friend loves at all times. And I was just like reminded of that scripture, like this is what it actually means. Like you're not rolling your eyes at me secretly like I was doing at Shy that day when she
if
was
only
like,
you guys knew what actually happened that day.
She went through a lot, and I was so selfish.
She went through a lot.
No, Zach
to where
went
I couldn't
snowboarding
see anything she was going through.
Oh, this
at
was
4
that day?
a.m. He went snowboarding at 4 a.m. and I know how stressed Remy was about her party, so her stress was on me, and we had the cake.
Yeah.
So I'm telling him, you go 4 a.m. You need to be back in time so we can make it to Remy's birthday. And we timed it out. We mapped it out at like, you know how you can put on your map what time of the day it is so you can check the exact stuff. We had like a 3-hour window to make sure we were gonna be on time. Unfortunately, his cousin had a heart attack on the mountain, and it changed everything.
Yeah.
I didn't share that with Remy.
Right, you didn't
In
want to
her
worry
defense,
her.
she did not roll her eyes at me knowing that his cousin had a heart attack. But I didn't want to put that on her. It was her birthday. So in my head, I was going to take the lashing that I was going to get because it's her birthday. Who cares what happened, but I didn't want to put that on her. So in hindsight, I probably should have shared.
What happened?
This is the reason why we're late. And I think maybe that's what you learn in friendships.
Yeah.
I would have gotten
made
a
a
different
difference.
response.
Yeah.
But Zach and I were like, we're just going to just show up and be happy because this is her day. We can't bring what just happened. We can't bring that energy.
You didn't want to bring
over.
any type of energy to her.
No, because I already knew I was in trouble. I was in trouble. But everything that day seemed to go wrong. She had a certain color code she all wanted us to wear. The dress I got didn't fit.
She was 5 months
I was pregnant. I got it that day. It didn't fit. So I'm like going through my closet. I picked the stretchiest dress that I could find, but it also wasn't
the color that
I was supposed to be in.
Yeah, it was just way too dramatic. And I felt so, like, in that moment, I felt very justified in what I was going through. And this is another, like, really important reason why you should have wise counsel in your corner, because I would have loved to talk to someone about what I was what I was upset with Shy about, and for them to tell me, like, that is very minuscule. Like,
Yeah.
she showed up, didn't she? Like, yeah, of course, you can talk to her about how, you know, you did what you would have loved for her to be on time. And of course, there was a dress code because you have a vision and like whatever. But that all could have been done at a later time, and you could have just greeted her with love in that moment. That, like, it's so important to have someone to, like, not condone your anger, and for someone to not, like, just
Tell you
what you want to hear. And then, and another thing is, like, stab someone in the front, which is what we talked about too.
Yeah.
And that's important because oftentimes we end up either feeling like we have to appease someone's wrong by telling them that it's okay to do it. Like, as a friend, I want you to be able to accept my correction. Like, if you were to come to me and need advice and I'm like, I just really don't think that X, Y, and Z, but if I'm disagreeing with you, you should know that it's coming from a place of love.
And
coming from
hurt,
a place of, like,
trying to hurt you.
reflection. Like, I am doing my very best to tell you in a loving way that what you're doing is wrong. And to trust that I'm not doing it to spite you or to hurt you or to break you down, but genuinely because I want to sharpen you, because I want the very best for you. And the vulnerability and the trust and the honesty should be able to be reciprocated, to where if I am telling you that I don't agree with you, you should be able to see that through that lens and not fight me for it.
Yeah. And sometimes it's hard to receive those words.
Of course. Of course it's always hard to hear the truth, or because you always want that person, your friend, to tell you what you want to hear.
Yeah.
To tell you you're right, whatever you're going through, even if it's wrong. But it's going to hurt. But I think it's so important in growing in your friendships to hear the things that will sharpen you, to make you better.
Yeah, I agree.
To build you, because you're not going to level up that way.
Right.
You're going to stay stagnant.
Yeah.
So I think it's important in friendships.
Yeah. Remy, can you read the friendship thing again and then do what you did? Do you have it still?
Yeah, my acronym for friendship.
Yeah, your acronym. And then what did you ask us? Like, which one stood out or something?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to do that.
Cheyenne's like, do the thing.
Do the thing, Remy, do the thing. Do it.
Oh
Cheyenne's
my
trying to show her
God.
friend off, y'all.
Look at my friend, y'all. She's
Look what
so
she can do.
I really love this conversation
Look what
because
she
it's
can
making
do.
me.
Look what she can
It
do.
made me
back.
think.
It's
Oh my
making
God.
me think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, in my older age, am I making friends?
Mm-hmm.
And what it looks like, because I don't feel like I'm here making friends with the people that I'm surrounded with every day. And I feel like I'm like content with my friendships that I've that I already have.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's the effort that I like that scares me. The effort that I have to find a babysitter, that I have to do this, I have to do that. And then the most of people that I are like building friendships with are younger and don't have kids, but they do all understand, like, oh, just bring Parker, like, do this, do that.
Yeah.
And it's like, do you know what that means to bring my son?
Yeah.
Like, no,
I have
he's
to tend to
older.
him and
I have
tend
to
to
tend to
you.
you.
I'm
I
split.
have to do that juggle.
Yeah.
Like, do you guys understand that juggle?
Yeah.
And it's interesting because on set, there's a girl I work with, one of the makeup artists I work with all the time, and we call each other friends. And then I said one day, I was like, oh, you know, she had a birthday party, and I'm like, oh, you didn't invite me, I'm not your friend. She's like, well, Shannon, every time I ask you to hang out, you don't
can't.
show up.
Yeah.
And we don't have that lunch. She was like, I want you to come over, but we never get to that point.
Yeah. I'm
But
glad she was honest.
She was so honest. She was
Yeah.
like, yes, you are my friend, but
In this capacity.
like, we never, you know, like, I always want you to go to dinner after set, or I want you to do this. But she's like, it's always so hard to get to that next level with you. And I'm like, and I'm like sitting back and I'm thinking, I'm like, it is. It's so much effort for me to like step out of my comfort zone. Because like, if I'm with the friends that I'm with all the time, like, I know that if I'm like, oh, this or that, or if I do come over, it's just, I can just sit there and be a blah. I don't have to talk to you guys, or I don't have to do this, I don't do that. So it's interesting to have a friendship conversation.
Yeah.
So
It
we're gonna
means-
go back and think about it because
I'm literally
it clearly
sitting
still has
It's
me
hard.
thinking, and we had this combo like
hmm.
2 weeks ago. But I sat there and reflected for a while, like
I'm really
who
reflecting.
are friends, and am I a good friend? Do I show up for
Right.
friends, and in what capacity do I show up for my new friends?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Do I
and that's
even
what
have
I'm
the
thinking about.
bandwidth for new friends? Because like you said,
That's important to
sometimes
realize,
you can't do all the things, and it's
Yeah.
like for me, I feel guilty like to be like, damn, like I'm curious about this person, like
Yeah.
I would like to have some kind of connection and be able to establish a relationship or some kind of rapport to build to a friendship, but I'm like, I just don't have the ability all the time.
Yeah,
And it's
the
like I don't want to
capacity.
start something and it's like, oh that girl was cool, but like
Yeah.
she's flaky. So it's like sometimes I can't even put myself out there because I know what I can give and what I can't give right now.
And that's important. It's so important.
Also like I don't want to have to go into every new potential friendship like, hey, here's my disclaimer sheet like of what I've got going on or how I act or may not act or I'm gonna react this way because I've dealt with XY. You know, it's like
But I also, yeah.
it's
Sorry to cut you off.
I still trying to figure out like those boundaries of what do you share in the beginning versus what don't you share? Like, do you just let things like flow? Do you be like, hey, like I'm curious, but I'm dealing with XYZ. This is what I can give, or is it like, why is this girl telling me this? So like, why are you even telling me this? Like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
you know, like you're cool, but like I don't even know if I want to be friends with you. And it's like, I'm like, hey,
It's really like a relationship.
it's dating.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's really like
100%
dating.
no, friendships is dating, and like you don't always get to the second friendship date, you know.
And that's where you have to be honest with yourself and that person. But like, you need to, if we're not always in the season for new friendships. So like
Yeah.
Okay,
this
yeah.
this season isn't for everyone. So when you are in that season, you realize the need is there.
Yeah.
So for me, the need was there. And I knew that I wanted to make new friends in this season. Who share like certain important things, and in doing so you still have to be okay with being like, that's not a person who I'm gonna call friend, but I like this person, I'm gonna call her neighbor, or I like this person, I'm gonna call her sister, or I like this person, I'm gonna like,
Yeah,
do
give her a
I'm
different
gonna give her a
title.
different title.
I'm
So being
channeling
able
mentors.
yeah,
Like-
being able to differentiate a friend versus another category is important too. And you'll also realize in real time if this feels right. Like there's been multiple coffee dates I've taken or like initiated or just like, tried to put myself out there, and then I realize I can see you when I see you, but I'm not going to put in the effort
Yeah.
because I just don't feel my soul yearning for you. And I know that sounds so dramatic,
It's
but there
real.
was a recent friend that I
I have to
met.
pee so bad. I'm so sorry.
I have to pee too. There is a
Mine's gonna come out.
there is a recent friend,
Okay.
and I'm happy to call her friend now, but we've been on like 3 dates so far.
Yeah.
And we met at an event at the church. I didn't know she went there. She didn't know I went there. It was our first time meeting. It was a mutual friend who introduced us to each other. And we exchanged phone numbers. She asked to go to coffee. She bought her 2-year-old. I had my baby. And it was like our souls connected. We didn't
Aw.
talk about too much. We talked about like how we met our husbands.
Yeah.
And but there was just something there that felt like, I'm looking forward to the next time I see you.
Yeah.
And that's
It
how
was
it
like
is
a
when
spark.
you're dating
Yeah.
when you're dating a man. It's like, I'm looking forward to the next time I see you. It's
Yeah.
kind of like that when you're finding new friendships, and it's a very important relationship that you have to put yourself out there. You have to be vulnerable, but in stages. Like you're
Yeah.
not getting my deepest, darkest secrets on our first meet, but I also can figure out on our first meet, because I tend to have a good judge of character, whether or not you're someone I want to pursue.
Right.
And also make sure it's going both ways. Like you want to make sure that you're not, feeling friendlier essentially, and the other
Putting
person
too
wants to put you in the
much,
associate zone. So
Right.
just like understanding A, the need, B, being able to process after you hang out whether or not this is a person who you want to continue to get to know, and then being honest with yourself and with that person as to whether or not you're going to continue pursuing them or continuing to just I'll see you when I see you. And there's all love when I do that. But
Yeah.
I don't need to like actually make the time in my schedule to include you in my life.
This topic is just really having me reflect because it's so true. It's so true. And it's making me want to put more effort into the things. I don't feel like I put that extra. Or maybe
Effort.
there's not that spark.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I feel like maybe on my side as a new friend, I need to like be consistent
Yeah.
for that person because I feel like a lot of people gravitate towards me and are like, ooh, Shannon, I want to learn more about you. There's so much that you can give.
Yeah.
But then sometimes I kind of hold myself back. I'm like, I don't want to.
I
Yeah.
do.
But I feel like I need to start like letting down maybe walls and maybe it's the healing that I maybe need to do that I knock myself. Maybe it's healing that I need to do within myself of like it's okay to make new friends. It's okay to open that door for others to come in.
Yeah.
I think that's a good point. Like for me, I had to, you mentioned healing earlier, and that really resonated with me because I had to heal in the space of friendships. Because like, and it goes back to my formative years, like how I learned how to make friendships, like how to maintain them, like what does a friend look like, and those early experiences can alter or
Absolutely.
like change your experience. So for me, like there was a period in time where I was like, I just can't do friends. Like I don't know what a healthy friendship looks like. I don't know, like I was seeking friends outside of that, what I felt were like my default friends, or
Oh,
and I
default friends.
I
That's
hate
a,
using the word default friends because I do have some friends that were just due to the environment. I feel like they were my default friends, but these are still some of my best friends to this day and know me the best, and I would never change our relationship. But it's healing, you have to heal in terms of friendship. And I'm gonna use y'all again. I feel like you guys really helped inspire my healing journey in terms of friendship, or what a friend looks like, or what a friendship can bring to your life. Because there were a lot of situations where like I always had friends. I was always like, people always liked me. I liked other people, and never had a shortage of opportunities to make friends. But it was it was just something that I had issues with.
Healing is so vital because you don't want to take the traumas of your past into the
Into the new
relationships
ones.
of your future.
And like Shannon said, like there's been times where like my mama was even, oh, that girl wants to be your friend. I just can't let people in. Like I've had a hard time. And then when Cheyenne really started doing like television stuff, it kind of added a weird layer to it, because then there were like people who would approach me or like would try to be more friendly, but they were just trying to get to my sister.
You're like, is this authentic?
Is
Right,
this
is
an
it a
authentic-
real
genuine?
friendship?
Yeah, and that it kind of like triggered me back to like my teen years, where I had a card and I had an Amex and I was going places. And I was like the mystery girl.
I had a car and
I had
an
a
Amex.
card. I
I
did.
hate her
So
life.
I was out.
I hate her life and I'm in
I
it.
was out and about. I knew
that's
boys. I knew popular
Oh, now she
people.
knows the boys too.
Like I was at the club, but
She
it's
said
like
the Amex, the
no.
club, the
Kyle had
boys.
to go and people wanted to go with her.
They did. So then girls would like literally befriend me just to get
Just to have access to
Just
what
to
you
get in the
have.
car.
to the car, to the
the
world.
place, to
I
the
was
club.
nice. It wasn't my money. I didn't know. Like, what
I'm leaving.
Girl,
I'm
I
done.
told you she be pissing me off.
No, so it was hard because it's like I then equated friendships to like,
no, that's real though, Kyle.
not everyone was able to do the things I was able to do. So it was like I felt like I was buying and like paying and supplying these false,
You were supplying their
fake
lifestyle.
the fake friendships.
Yeah.
So then I was like, I really retracted, and I was like,
Yeah.
my sister's my friend. Like,
Yeah.
fuck these other people. Like,
Yeah.
friendships were scary for me.
Relearning.
I've
is very
had
important.
a best friend
Yeah,
who I was
relearning
like my day one, where it was like
Mhm.
sometimes that loyalty can become a liability. When you said that, I was like, my heart pained a little bit because I love this person. But last year I had a friend breakup,
Mhm.
and it was I still think about it, and it's
Yeah.
that 1 year mark is coming up, and it's like, I'm staying where I am.
Are
right
you
now.
using my wedding as your 1 year mark?
Oh my
No,
God.
I think
Not
she
your
is.
wedding, bridal
Your
shower.
bridal shower.
I'm over here like that mark.
Your
Don't
bridal.
bring that animosity to my
Oh
date.
no! It's not your date. It was
It
your
was
day.
your date. Look.
It was your day, but it happened to affect me on the day where it was supposed to be all about your day. But
Yeah,
like,
that was
I get what you mean.
Yeah.
Okay, before we end, I really want Remy to do the friend thing.
And before we get there, I found the actual the person I was trying to quote.
Yay.
His what he said verbatim, because I wrote it down, is when you have a good heart, sometimes there's a need to feel like you have to take people with you. But there's a thing called separation before elevation and a shift before the lift. Connecting with the right people means disconnecting with the wrong people. And sometimes loyalty is a liability.
can you send that to me?
That was
was
good.
beautiful.
Drops the mic.
I really
Yeah.
think
Really?
I'm going to recall who it was who said it. I really think it was Pastor Travis Green or Jared. Okay, I don't know.
Remy and her
Did we just
pastors.
throw in a Jeremy in there?
I think. Oh my God,
I love Remy
really
and her
am-
pastors.
I don't
Travis, will you
know.
clip that part when she just read all that?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sometimes you have to let go to
No,
let new
I
energy.
like-
Yeah,
and
that's really
space
good. Can you send that to
come
me?
in, yeah.
That
Yeah,
was really
I'll
copy and
beautiful.
paste.
I love that so much, and I was just like so wrecked by that because all of those, like most of the reasons why he said it's okay to let people go is the reason why we keep people.
Right,
You know, like
yeah.
we keep people because of the loyalty and like this whole day one culture, and because we have a good heart and we don't want to hurt anyone's feelings
Yeah.
by being like,
Yeah.
you can't come
You
with me
can't
in this
come with-
next
yeah.
season. You do
But
have
I
to
think
just
that's
shed
so
people.
And not
important.
everyone gets to go.
Yeah,
Like,
not
Because I
everyone
think
gets to
when
go.
you hold on to those people in your life, that those day ones or those people that you've been there, I don't feel like those type of people hold you back from your blessings.
Exactly.
I truly believe when you let go of people that are toxic in your life or that you feel like have been by your side all the time but they're not good for you anymore, and you
Yeah.
hold on to them, I believe your doors will not open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But once you do,
Because you all
those-
can't fit through
you
the
can't
door.
fit
It's
through
too
the doors.
many.
But
Or it's a
honestly,
heavy
when
load.
you-
You're
Yeah.
like,
Pull it off.
honestly let go of toxic people in my life, and my doors opened so wide, and God was like, here are your blessings that I have been holding on for you.
Yeah.
And like I just think that that's so real.
Yeah. All right, I'm about to do my friendship acronym. Wait, one last thing before that. Because you were saying you have to like, clear the space before you can go through the door, it reminds me of another proverb, which is bad company corrupts good morals. And when you are a good person and you have good morals, or like, you have certain things that you stand on, if you are around people who don't support that, you will end up becoming that.
Yeah.
And I think like we think we have so
real.
much more self-control than we actually do, but we don't. Like constantly being around someone who's having an affair with their husband and like stealing from their employer and like constantly gossiping and doing all these things, that stuff will end up attaching to you. So it's very important to realize that we
so
aren't as
real.
strong as we're not as strong as we think we are, and that we do need to have like keep that protection for ourselves to say like, if you are bad company, no matter how much I love you, you can't be in my inner circle because you have the ability to corrupt my heart.
Yeah.
And you just have to be honest with yourself about that and like take that distance and move
it's
on.
hard.
Love from a
Love-
distance.
It's hard. And
Love
it can
from
be
a distance.
painful, but like it's one of those things where you have to choose yourself.
Yeah.
And you do have to protect yourself, like in any relationship. Yeah. Okay, I want to hear this
Okay.
friendship acronym. Like, come on.
Friendship acronym. So once again, y'all, sorry for all my Bible references, but
No.
this was a study.
It was a Bible study.
It was a Bible study. I did this
what was the
for-
last one? That was
Apologize for that.
Proverbs what?
It is. Let me see if I have it marked.
Shannon,
Good
can you
company.
tell
The
me
bad
more?
company
The
one?
bad company.
Yeah, it is
'Cause
Proverbs.
I'm gonna go. I'm like,
You gonna
Hold on, let me
read.
just go pull it out really fast. Good company. Wait, bad company.
bad company.
Oh.
You said bad company.
Corrupts good character. And that is do not be deceived. Oh, wait, it's actually not a proverb. It is First Corinthians. It's First
Oh.
Corinthians 15:33. And it says, do not be deceived. Bad company ruins good morals. Don't be fooled by those who say such things, for bad company corrupts good character. And it's basically letting you know that spending time with too much people, spending too much time in the company of people who are immoral or unethical can negatively impact you.
I'm gonna say people be gaslighting in friendships too.
All right, let's get to my
Made me feel
I'm
like-
sorry, I thought that was a
But
proverb,
yeah.
y'all. Okay, let's get to my friendship acronym to end this thing.
I loved it.
Yes.
I
F.
like, look
I
how
thought
happy
it
you
was
are.
so great.
L is for
I
the
took
way
notes
you
when she
look.
was reading this.
I'm
reaching for my phone because.
I'll send it to you.
Okay.
Okay, so F is free to love, and that is a friend should love at all times. R is realistic expectations of messing up and then saying sorry once you do. And that's where Shy was like, don't you got something to apologize for? No, she didn't say that.
Oh, really?
3
Remy?
years I've been waiting for this apology.
I wrote in Christ because shared hope and belief in the same fundamental boundary or the same fundamental principle is extremely important because all activities, advice, and conversations will flow from there. E, encouragement and earnest counsel. And let's see, N, never stop sharpening each other. So that's like you should always be around someone who keeps you sharpened, who's not
I
like
like that.
allowing you to become dull. D, discretion to be trustworthy. Obviously, we know discretion means to, like, if I go to Shy with something that's like deeply troubling me, I would trust for you not to know about it or you not to know
Right.
about it. That stays between us. S is for service and sacrifice. And I want to call out that sacrifice does not mean sacrificing who you are as a person. Sacrifice is time. Sacrifice is like something that does not compromise who you are. So like I'm going to
that
sacrifice
you
my
said that.
time to show up for Cheyenne whenever she needs me, or sacrifice, my plans to cancel and be there for her. In service, just showing up and helping out. H, honest. A good friend stabs you in the front. Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of an enemy are deceitful.
Why do we have to stab though?
Well, that's just like super dramatic. But basically, like,
Yeah,
you know
I
how
was
you
something-
stab
I
in
used
the
to have
back.
someone in the back.
I'm like,
Basically
confront
saying
me to
like,
my face.
tell
Don't
me.
stab
like-
me in the front.
Yeah, it's like I would rather my friend
Stab me in the front.
tell
than in
me
the
that
back.
something is wrong than my enemy continuously tell me that
No, I
my
understand.
that my wrong is
I
right.
just don't
Yeah.
want us to still stab each other.
I'm pulling out the knife and I'm stabbing you in the front. It's gonna hurt.
Okay. Ow.
Almost done.
Gonna get
I
uppercut.
is interruptions will happen where the friend needs you to pull them back up. And that one I love so much because like that goes to accountability. Like you want to have a friend who can see you slipping and be like, not on my watch.
Right.
Yeah.
Like not on my watch. I will not let you cheat on your husband on my watch. I
Yeah.
will not let you disrespect your mom on my watch. Like whatever it is, like to just say no.
Yeah.
I'm not
It's
gonna let that
interesting, the
happen.
Interruptions.
Yeah.
like
Interruptions
that
will
one.
happen.
I really
that one.
Bing!
Yeah.
But I like that. Like you're holding your friend
Accountable. And the last one is P, pride needs to be set aside because there's no way that you can honor anyone if your ego is too big. So like to be able to just like see yourself as a servant of another person and like taking that humble position to be a friend. And once again, this is reciprocated. So it's not just me constantly like humbling myself. It's also my friend humbling themselves to be of service to me. And it's very hard to be humble and prideful at the same time. It's like it's impossible to be humble and prideful at the same time. So when you constantly have the position of pride, you'll like ruin the relationship before it has a chance to blossom.
Can you read R?
Yes. R, Shy's favorite, realistic expectations of messing up and then apologizing once you do.
What you do?
Yeah.
Isn't that good?
That is good.
I think I would like to be invited to one of your Bible studies.
Thursday, 3:30 p.m. every Thursday. The next 2 Thursdays,
It's on Zoom.
I'm
I
traveling.
feel like you gotta
so-
say it's on Zoom.
Yeah, it's on Zoom.
Oh, I
So
can do
you can
Yeah.
join. Yeah, it's always really good. I love it. So yeah, that's the friendship acronym. I'll text it to you if you want to put it at the end.
Yeah, I
and all
want
the
it.
scriptures are cited. But
On
yeah,
there? Oh, wait.
yeah, they're
I
all
love
cited.
that.
So yeah, we love friendships, and it's so like
I love-
it's so important to be in community, but it's just as important to be in the right community.
Yeah.
Like you want to be in the
So
right
important.
company, not just any company.
Yeah.
No.
That's so
Thank
real.
you,
Especially at an
Remy.
older age. Thank you.
Yeah.
You have my little brain going.
Let's go make friendships. Hi, my name's Remy. Would you be my friend?
I feel happy because I feel like over the summer I got to spend time with my friends. Like I was more intentional to spend time with my friends.
Mhm.
So yeah, friendships are healthy. They're needed and they keep you going and they feed you.
I need
Yeah.
my friends.
Yeah,
I need my
friendship's
friends, too.
necessary.
I love that.
Well, I appreciate you for coming on and talking to us. Everybody loves you when you come on, so they're gonna be really happy to see you're back.
Your crew's so sweet.
We
I love
need to
them.
get Mr. Bobo on.
Yeah, you just let him
Yes.
know.
We need to
happy
get
come
Brandon on because I feel like he always has the male version and male's perspective of like anything we're talking about.
Yeah.
So we need to get Brandon on. But I do appreciate you coming, and I'm excited to see what you guys have to say about this conversation and making friends as adults.
Like, where do y'all make friends? Help a friend out. Like,
Oh yeah, we
where
didn't
do
even
you
get
go?
there.
Do we need to do a part 2? We can always do
What kind
part
of
2.
questions do you ask, like, when you're trying to figure out, is this person a potential
Or is
friend?
there questions? Or is it just like a
Like, conversation. Like, I don't know.
or is it just like a mutual?
I think these are things
uprising.
that you have to figure out within your friendships.
I think we should.
I think we should part 2 it. I really think we should.
Because
have-
we will
just-
be here if I answer
Right,
that
I
question.
think
We're
we
here
have
for
to part
another
2
20
it.
minutes.
I'm so
No,
down to
definitely
do
part
a
2.
part 2
I am
about
too.
friendships.
Because
all
I
right.
feel like I would probably be sitting on now that it's brought into
Right.
my brain more and
Yeah.
I swear it's been
more,
sitting on mine.
yeah.
So I'm so down to do it. But all right, y'all. It has been a great conversation. I hope you guys have a great week this week. And as always, you can follow us on Think Loud Crew. You can follow us on YouTube, like Kyle said
Yeah, we're on
last
YouTube.
episode. And on any podcast
animated
platform, you can find us. And you can follow me personally at Shy Not Shy.
And you can follow me, Remy Chantel Bobo on Instagram, and then Remy and Brandon Bobo on YouTube.
there you go, girl.
And you can find me at RKyleLynn.
And you can follow me at Hair by Shanan C.
And don't forget to tell your crew
About
our
our
crew.
crew.